call the meeting to order. Town of Bristol Special Select Board meeting, Monday, April 18th, 2022. Review agenda for additional removal or adjustment of any items. Val, anything?
Nothing other than to perhaps clarify the first item under regular business. It probably should have been articulated to say authorize the creation of a new full-time position. Because that's really, I think, what we're asking the select board to do.
As opposed to advertising.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, first you have to authorize it.
Step
Before we
one.
can advertise it.
Okay. 2, overview Zoom meeting operation procedures, rules for participation, mute microphone. Everyone attending tonight knows that, so that's good. 2, regular business. Consider the creation of the assistant clerk and assistant town treasurer positions as one full-time position.
Good catch.
That, Michelle, you're not even here and you're still center screen. You can't win.
I'm shutting off my video.
Just go into hiding.
So
Okay.
Later this afternoon, we emailed out a draft outline of what the joint assistant clerk and treasurer position would look like. And I also sent out an email kind of summarizing the budget impact of what this would be. And basically, if we propose or if we consider this new position, say at $17 an hour to start, then that position would be about $5,000 higher than what is currently budgeted for FY23 for Peter and Nicole together. We know that Peter is planning to retire soon, and we don't know what Nicole's plans are, but she's going to be out for a while. And so there's an urgent need to create this assistance for Sharon and Anthony.
And for the public, and for those who don't know, those 2 positions currently are 2 part-time positions. They're different positions. And we're looking to combine that position to one role that would serve both of those positions as a full-time position.
We think by advertising it as a single position, we'd have a better chance of attracting applicants.
Okay.
And also, if we advertise it at 32 hours, which is a reasonable amount of time, but that also enables the applicant to be eligible for the benefits, full-time benefits. And with those, and assuming the highest, the family plan, the highest of everything, then that would essentially double the current budget for the current assistant help.
Okay.
Assistant positions.
And we're okay with the 32. I know that there was previous position was 32 and now that's changed and that's gone higher. How are we looking in terms of that 32 number? We feel that with the 2 positions combined, that's a good number of hours for that one person to do both of those roles.
Yeah, Sharon and I have discussed it. This would be Monday through Thursday when the offices are open, which would give us a huge help in our weekly duties.
In terms of that time changing, in terms of it being 5 days a week, I assume that's going to happen at some point. Is that it would just be their role wouldn't be divided over the 5 days. It would still remain a Monday to Thursday, perhaps.
From the looks of it currently, yes.
Okay.
I mean, as time goes on, maybe we find out that they also, I guess that depends on when we decide to fully open again.
Right.
And then I guess we would revisit the hours, meaning how we spread out the 32 across the week.
Right.
Okay.
And the person that's chosen for the position may require some accommodation and some adjustments for whatever reasons, childcare or other obligations. So I think we would be able to structure the position flexibly.
Okay. And that extra additional money where is that coming from?
The budget. We'll just overspend on those line items, and hopefully other areas of the budget will be underspent as happens every year. We end every year with a healthy surplus. So from the combination of higher than expected revenues overall and lower than expected expenditures overall.
Okay.
So yes, this particular line item would be overspent, but it would be easily explained.
Okay. The board, what are your thoughts?
I think it's a good idea to move in this direction, to have somebody that we know is going to be here full time. It's a schedule that we can plan on.
Mhm. And I think you're right about combining the two, making it more attractive right now, knowing what the applicant pool has been like for other positions, trying to make it as attractive as possible and having that flexibility if they do need it, and scheduling makes good sense. I think employers have to do that right now.
Yeah.
We have to,
16 hours a week is, I mean, we've had problems filling that before. So
Right.
it'll be a lot more inviting if it's a full-time job.
Mhm.
And I understand we could end up paying benefits and all that, but that's the cost of doing business.
And if it's someone who's going to stay long-term,
Yeah.
it's well worth it.
So what's going to happen? So Nicole or whoever, or Gail, they're still going to be administrative assistants, or what? Where's that come into the picture?
Gail is an admin assistant. Nicole is an assistant town clerk at the moment.
So
Will she
if-
not be an assistant town clerk if we go this route? Because I
Well,
mean,
that's
if
what-
she
yeah.
stays assistant clerk, then we're paying.
Well, no, I
Double
told
plus.
her she's going to be gone at the end of the month for probably most of the summer. And I told her we were heading in this direction because we need an assistant clerk and we need an assistant treasurer. And when she's ready to come back, she needs to call me and we'll discuss where we're at.
So there may or may not be an opening at that point.
Correct. And she's still
Okay.
under probation as well.
And she could apply for this position.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I think
she's gonna
it's, go on, Jill.
I'm sorry, if she's going to be gone for most of the summer, then, and we need to fill this now. But
Exactly. That's partly the purpose for this special meeting.
Okay. I know that in terms of a lot of positions hiring around the state, there are hiring bonuses, and we discussed that with other positions. Is any thought been given to that for this particular position?
We didn't talk about it.
I know it's additional money, but also, if we're competing with other towns in the area for similar positions, and I don't know if we are, I'm not sure if that's something we want to think about.
I think we're competing when it's a part-time thing. But if it's a full-time position, I don't believe we're going to be, it's going to be a different pool.
Mhm. Could we start with this, just advertising it as the base pay, and then if we don't get applicants, we could offer a bonus at that time? It puts us a little bit behind, but it doesn't obligate us right off the bat either.
I'm game.
Yeah, and what was the discussion in terms of the pay? I don't know if that's something. Is that something we want to talk about here, or it was partly in the sort of advertising, right, Val?
Right. For budget purposes, we use the figure $17 an hour. In reality, if we meet the right candidate, that could go up. It might go
Okay.
down, but that's the figure we used
Okay.
for budgeting.
and Valerie, so it's 32 hours a week. That'd be full benefits
Mhm.
Correct.
because they qualified over 28 or whatever it is.
And
Yeah.
add it all together at the end of the year, it amounts to about $52,000.
About double what we
Full
have.
benefits if they take the full plate
Right.
of offerings.
I have a really hard time with that, I know we always run in a surplus, but I just have a hard time like overspending our line items by double.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we can't plan on this specifically, and we don't you know, it's kind of an emergent, but it's like, I really have a hard time with that. I just,
Well, I feel with you, Michelle, and I'm thinking the same thing, but, Sharon, if Nicole's gonna be gone, we'll say till September 1st, and maybe she doesn't come back, because of our doings. That was money, she's not gonna be able to draw that money vacation or sick time or whatever between now.
She doesn't get any sick time or
She doesn't
she
get
doesn't get
any.
any benefits as a part-timer.
But we budgeted for her to work all summer, correct?
But the
Yeah.
total for her and Pete is about 25,000. The total for the new position would be about 52. So, I mean, there is, you know, we've never done it. There is the rainy day fund, that 5% that we hold. So if in the event that I agree with you too, Michelle, but this is something we didn't plan on and we're creating a new position. The only other alternative to do it the way you would like to see it would be to wait until next March.
no, I mean, I understand we have the rainy day fund. I mean, anybody who budgets has a rainy day fund for cases like this, but I just hate to have to pull through it.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, but if we want to, do you feel that this would be more efficient if we went
no.
this route?
No, I think this is the right way to go. My concern is like, I'm hoping that Nicole understands that we're going this route and that she doesn't expect she's going to have a job back if we fill it. No.
Yeah, I think if that is made absolutely clear to her, and I think it has been, I think we'll be fine. I agree with you too, Michelle. It is a big ask in terms of doubling the amount, but it's also, I don't feel we do this very often. And creating positions like this, in hindsight, yes, we could have thought about this position and maybe combined the two. And Joel has often said in past meetings, in terms of the efficiency of our office and the number of people that we have compared to other towns. So, you know, I do feel like that full-time position is really going to be helpful. And so I think on this particular occasion, I think it warrants sort of exploring and making it double. But yes, it is a big jump, obviously, and we don't want to be doing this every other week.
And I also
We
want
don't
to
have
put
that
out
many
there,
positions.
So,
Right.
what was that, Sharon? I didn't hear you.
I was just going to say the other thing too is in May, if I'm not here, the office is closed, and there will be 2 days in May that I have to close to go for training for elections. And, you know, if I'm not able to come in the morning, there's no one here to open the office in the morning if I'm not here either. So we do need someone to be able to, so we have some flexibility. Right now, the only day I can take off is Friday, unless I close the office. So.
Okay.
And the other thing
Okay.
there is that Anthony's not yet designated or appointed as an assistant clerk and that is the long-term plan, that he would be an assistant clerk, and Sharon already is an assistant treasurer, and she's still doing some assistant treasurer work. So Anthony has not had the capacity with his current onboarding to delve into clerk world.
Right,
So-
and he will not feasibly be able to do a lot of the clerk stuff anyways, just because of all the stuff he has to do as a treasurer. You have to remember, they
Especially
used
now
to
during
have
tax
two.
season and audit and all that stuff that's been on his plate right from the get-go.
Oh, come on,
And-
Anthony, fly by the seat of your pants.
I mean, that's what we've been doing, sort of. But
It's
we've been managing.
It's mainly his computer slowing him down.
Working on that too.
I mean, I think this is a good way, and I think if it's the combined position makes it more attractive, all the better. You know, as obviously hiring for any type of position is difficult, as we've discovered over the last couple of years. And so I think if this makes it more attractive, then I think this is the way we should go.
So,
Was this, didn't we used to have this before where they were 32 hours? Didn't we have an assistant treasurer, assistant town clerk?
I think you might be thinking of Val, who was in the department, but she was also assistant treasurer, and she was 32 hours, I think.
Yeah.
30
Joel
hours.
and Peker would know. I'm talking before before.
Right.
Oh,
Before you, Val.
So the new person Nancy wouldn't become an assistant town clerk, and Sharon
Eventually.
would become.
Yes. They
Yeah.
would still.
Yeah. It just takes a lot of time.
So we're gonna have 2 assistant treasurers or 2 assistant town clerks?
And you
Oh,
would,
we-
in theory, have 2 assistant treasurers as well.
right.
Right.
So that way if someone's,
Someone's sick or on
Someone's out.
vacation.
So
Yeah, if
still
you
got 2,
recall,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy was assistant clerk as well.
Yeah.
Well, and I always complained about that, and I even got that from Wendy. Wendy always said, I don't know what I did here. She said, you guys didn't need me. She told me that personally.
She did land records.
Yeah, but treasurer stuff, I mean, so I'm trying to figure out who will balance the checkbook, because Anthony, I know you can't, as the treasurer, can't balance the checkbook, right?
But yes, it's hope that this position would be able to be the controls in place in order for me to maintain what I am doing, but also because as of right now, I handle the deposits. I do the other side of the cash receipts. As a control in place, I should not be the one reconciling the accounts and the bank statements. That's just not something you would do.
Correct. And we used to have somebody that did that, and then we had a third person that did something else, and
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the position, I'm just trying, so we'll have 2 assistant treasurers and 2 assistant clerks?
Only because Sharon and Anthony will be assistants.
Do we need to be?
They
That's what I'm asking.
do in case somebody's not here.
Yeah.
They're not, it's not their full-time, they're just there so that they can assume the duties if nobody's here. They're not,
You mean if the first and the second person's not here, they're the third person?
there's
So to
only
speak,
3 people.
right,
There's Anthony and Sharon, and then there'll be a third person. And that third person, all 3 of them will have, well, Sharon is the clerk and
Anthony's the treasurer.
assistant treasurer,
Yeah,
and this person would be the assistant clerk. And then Anthony is the treasurer and the assistant clerk, and this person would be the assistant treasurer.
and the assistant clerk.
Yes. But so they could fill either spot.
so what they're saying is they have enough work right now that they need help. So this person would be that help.
I don't
And then if
disagree
one of
with that.
those people happens to be out for a vacation, a family illness, a training or whatever, then there's someone that third person, that new
So
person would be there.
If Sharon was gone, this person could fill her role and Anthony would do the treasurer's. If Anthony is on vacation, this person would fill Anthony's spot and Sharon would do the clerk work. It's just it's a person that,
I guess I'm going back to more of the treasurer. You got 2 assistants. Who's doing what, and where does I won't say blame, the oversight, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Responsibility.
well, Peter's going to be retiring. So basically that person's going to take Peter's spot.
So Peter's an
And then-
assistant, and Sharon is, but Sharon hasn't gotten a lot of chance to do it. Am I right in saying that?
Well, there's just a
Chance
lot
to
of.
do what?
A treasurer work.
Oh, I've done a lot of treasurer work. I
Okay,
did
so-
delinquent
okay.
taxes.
So we got
water,
3 now.
sewer,
We have 2 assistants and Anthony.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I
Okay.
don't do anything.
It'd be
that
1
Peter does.
person instead of 2.
Mhm.
Instead of having 4 people, we'll have 3.
I'm just trying to figure out money wise, not the money as in paying it, is when you're trying to balance something, and Anthony's done his thing and then he hands off the
It
state
would go
at the end of the
to-
month.
It would go to this position. Sharon doesn't
Instead of-
do the reconciliations.
Instead of
What
Peter.
she does is she does the notices. She can, like, one of the other things about having us as each other's assistant, so to speak, is to be able to answer questions as well with some sort of authority on the matter. We both can sign checks as well. So there's that kind of thing going on. As far as like some heavy duty treasurer work, the areas in which I would not be doing this would be the assistant treasurer's position. Like I've had discussions with Peter. Peter's offered input on what the assistant treasurer section of this job should also do. And we've got a pretty strong consensus of what we would like out of that position.
But Joel, you're absolutely right. There's going to be 3 roles. Essentially, the assistant treasurer and assistant clerk position would do the majority of the work for those 2 assistant roles. And then if necessary, Anthony and Sharon would overlap to be able to help out if it's needed. It seems like most of the work that Sharon would be doing would be as clerk. Most of the work that Anthony would be doing would be as treasurer. And you'd have that person in the middle to have overlap. So it just creates overlap between 3 people. But you're right. It is 3 people that all know how to do the same job. But I still think we need that person to have that overlap when we need it.
Okay.
And it's important to have somebody separate from Anthony doing certain tasks for internal control purposes, as Anthony mentioned, but it's very clear through all of the internal controls protocols that separate people have to carry out separate tasks to make sure that to keep the integrity of the accounting system and money management and make sure nothing funny is going on.
And we currently have that, only we have it in 2 part-time positions, and we're looking at making it 1 full-time position. Instead of an assistant clerk and an assistant treasurer who's a different person, it'll be the same person.
And then Gail is the administrative phones and things, and she's 2 days a week, 16 hours.
Yeah, 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday, 9:30 to 2:30.
Yeah, she's budgeted for 10 hours a week, but she's been in the office considerably more than that. Extremely helpful during these busy times. I haven't followed exactly her schedule. I'm sure Sharon can clarify that, but she's been putting on a lot of extra time to help cover this for this additional help, and that's not sustainable.
Okay.
So there'll be so what you're saying is there'll be some time there too, as
Some
well.
savings and time, yeah.
I mean, it's still not budgeted time, but it's time we're spending that money regardless. That 6 hours, apparently we're spending an extra 6 hours a week.
Well, last week it was even more because she was here 4 days because of taxes.
So there is, it's still going to be a deficit, but there is other money we're spending. We're spending the money in other ways. So it may not be 27,000 that we need to come up with, because we're already spending a portion of that somewhere else.
Yeah, and then there's also that tiny piece of the state and federal unemployment tax that we pay as well. And due to the parameters of the federal government, anyone that makes over X amount of dollars, it goes essentially we'll be saving about $8,000 having 1 person instead of 2 when everything's done and dusted. It's just you don't really see that in the line items because of the way that everything is built and the way that we have to deal with payroll as a whole. So
Okay.
you're saving pretty much $8,000 at least.
I did not know that. Cool.
So that gets you to 20.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference is under 20 now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll vote for this. I think we need to do it, but in the bigger scheme of picture, I'd like to get Valerie some help. On some of the stuff you've got to just hand off and go, I need this done. Give her the parameters, give him or her the parameters and say, can I have it in a week or a couple of days? And a real administrative assistant for you. And we don't have that. We haven't had that. And like
one of the things that's changing in the treasurer's office that is requiring more time from Anthony and Peter actually is beefing up the grants management protocols, filing and record keeping and grant compliance. And so this assistant could be very helpful in some of that area, and I could take advantage of that for sure.
Okay.
Well, I'd entertain a motion.
I move we create a position of assistant clerk and assistant treasurer and advertise the position.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Further discussion on the matter? Okay. All those in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
All those against, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. We hope it'll be a very good investment.
Okay. And we'll have it start advertising this week or next.
Yep, we'll polish it up. Yep.
Okay. 3, other business. Any correspondence reports or correspondence received?
Not here.
Okay. 4, executive session. We have personnel matters to talk about this evening.
Yeah, I think Anthony and Sharon can enjoy the rest of the evening, and if I could ask that the select board invite Eric in.
Okay, I make a motion, we go into executive session per 1 VSA section 313 to discuss personnel matters, and the select board invites Eric to join that session.
Second.
Motion and second. Further discussion. All those in favor, say aye, raise your hand.
Aye.
Those against, nay. Motion
Good night,
carried.
Sharon and Anthony.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Anthony.